There is the possibility that the yield will get better on this other side of the field because we have bees. And supposedly they are very canola friendly and make for good yields. I think I put one down the bottom here. In the trees. I don't know. Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. No, there are no bees in this corner. Oh. Couple of bee houses along this edge. Okay, let's edge out of the field slightly and to width. Do that, do that, do that, do that, do that, and do that. Okay. So that's all good. Also, canola's a low density crop anyway, but we are losing out here. What's the best way to do this? I should probably mulch the crop first, just so I get the mulching bonus. We can then bring the ripper out here and subsoil the field so that we get bonus we get the ploughing requirement eliminated. Once I've ploughed this, we're fine. Everything will be good. Then I need to lime it. Then I need to figure out what plant we're going to put in it. Haven't really seen the geese leaving yet here, but we are definitely getting close to the farmers are going to start harvesting soon. Obviously they've done all their cereal crops. All the barley was harvested a couple of months ago, but we should be seeing the corn and the beans very, very soon. Most of the rest of it's still green. We're still getting rain, lots of it. And the temperatures are still up in the 70s. I think it's supposed to be about 86 today. So not really like we're seeing full weather quite yet, although we're pretty close. Fortunately, this thing is fairly slow, so it doesn't wiggle when you turn on cruise control at maximum speed. And M Patchwork, good morning. Welcome to the stream. Beans end of next week, huh? Well, I guess my estimates are about right. They're not quite ready. I think in this area the bean plants are still a little bit green. However, they are definitely close. Same with the corn. It's still very, very slightly green, although you can see it's drying out a little. Okay. So straight down here. How's the tank? 42%. So I can go around this field a couple of times before this is going to be full. Partly due to the bad yields, partly due to it's canola. It doesn't, it's not a very dense crop. I'm not sure if I need 2 or 3 headlands here. We'll see. I could do 2 at this end, which will keep me from the trees, or 3 at this end, keep me from the trees, and 2 at the other end because we're pretty much on the road, or the farm track. Okay. A little bit wide there. That's fine. And I am using a very narrow header. Probably benefit from swathing here and using a narrow pickup header instead. But using a narrow header because it folds, and entry to a lot of the fields on this map is very, very restrictive. So it's just easier to do it this way. But now that I've basically opened at least one side of every field I own, I don't have to run with the folding header anymore. I could use a full-size draper for this, which means we'll get the work done quicker. The harvester will get filled up quicker, and the truck will be moving more frequently. But the question is, what am I going to plant in this field? What am I allowed to plant in this field? Well, wait till I get to the end, because then I can go back to cruise control and figure out what to do next in this field. Forwards. Go, go, go. Thank you. Okay, what does the calendar say I'm allowed to plant? I can plant canola next month. I can plant poplars, I can plant grass, I can plant oilseed radish. So we're pretty much outside of the planting window. I guess I could plant grass here and use this as an extra pasture for the end of the year. I'm thinking I want sunflowers in this field next year. And I'm thinking I'm going to get the island over here. if this works out okay, I might end up getting that row I turned off of when we empty. Okay, what are we talking? Farm sim stuff, new computer components. I mean, as I said, there was a sort of apocryphal story, one of the computer magazines in the UK back in the 1990s, where a PC builder basically said, look, a farmer friend of his wanted a PC to do his accounts on. Reasonable argument. So our PC builder friend spec'd up the system he needed to run the accountancy software that he wanted to run, that he was familiar with. And PC came to like £700 because UK, and the farmer friend said, yep, that seems quite reasonable. Can you build it for me, install the software? And so PC builder dude set it all up, and farmer dude was happy and did all his accounts for about 3 or 4 years, and every year there was an update to the software he was using, and he got about 5 years later and couldn't upgrade the software because his PC didn't have appropriate memory, processing power, etc., etc. And so he went back to his friend, and his friend, the PC builder friend, said basically, yeah, it'll probably cost me about £500 to buy replacement parts just so that you can run the software today. And farmer friend was kind of annoyed, because I have to pay $500 to upgrade this computer. Why didn't you give me a computer or build me a computer that was future-proof? And he said, well, the parts I'm buying today were available 5 years ago. But if I built a PC with them, you would have paid me £3,000 for all or £3,000 for all the parts. And if we waited till now, I could build a brand new one for £700, or just upgrade the one you've got for £500. And so the farmer was like, well, I could have, and the moral of the story was, yes, farmer dude could have paid £3,000 for a brand new computer that was pseudo future-proof, or he could have waited 3 years and got himself the system he had today for £1,500 instead of £3,500. But the PC builder guy said, what you don't want to do is I can't remember what button. Okay, I'm going to have to open the thing up. Pipe out 31 and 24. What is 31 and 24? Okay, I'm going to have to look at the crib sheet. 31. Right, 24 is that one. I think 31 is the one on the back. There it is. So, he was like, you can either spend a ton of money today, or you can wait a couple of years for the parts that you want. But as he pointed out to his farmer friend, look, you've had your computer for 5 years doing what you wanted it to do, and it was adequate for what you wanted to do at the time I built it. And all we need is a couple of new parts, more memory, bigger processor, maybe a bigger hard drive, or whatever, and this will serve you another 5 years. So farmer friend was a little begrudging, but okay, if that's how computers work, that's how computers work. I'm okay with that. So really it's a case of, yes, I can buy something that will run FarmSim 25, and it probably won't cost me much money. Or I can specify something that's a little bit over. I mean, the PC I've got at the moment cost me $1,500 7 years ago, and it has run FarmSim 17 all the way through to FarmSim 22 today, and I can stream and I can run a lot of fairly new games. I can't necessarily run the latest and greatest of some of the games, and if it will probably run FarmSim 25, but it's very tight at the edges. I'm probably going to be playing at very low resolution if I try to run it on this PC, assuming all the parts last. And it's definitely struggling with heat dissipation today in some component or other. So there's ways and means. I could upgrade. See, I could probably spend a couple of $100. I can't upgrade the processor because the motherboard is too old. I think I could upgrade maybe one generation of processor, which pretty much means that this time next year I'd be looking to upgrade it again anyway. So the motherboard needs to be newer. The processor needs to be newer. That dictates that the memory I have is just not going to fit in it. And typically I found that in the past when I used to do my own computer upgrades. If you replace the motherboard, you need new RAM, new processor, and probably new graphics. Back in those days it was usually because, well, they just changed all the buses on the motherboard and your current graphics card won't fit in the slots on the motherboard that you're planning to buy. But those 4 pieces of equipment, and I'd usually upgrade the hard drive because things were using up more space. But it wasn't a case of, oh, I need to go completely overboard with a new hard drive. It was a case of, I'll buy a new hard drive and the current master hard drive will go in the secondary slot, and I'll just increase. I'd probably get a 60% increase in disk storage. So that wasn't too big of an issue. And I just do it that way. So every so often, new motherboard, new processor, new RAM, new graphics card. Occasionally it was just, I need a new graphics card. But so long as the motherboard would run the graphics card, that's fine. Now looking at my motherboard today, I could upgrade the graphics card. The problem is, I could put a GTX 2070 in there. But if I put a 3070 in there, I wouldn't get the full benefits of it. It would fit, it would work, but I'd be throttling performance. And the cost of a 2070 is more than a 3070 plus a new motherboard. So at that point I'm looking at it saying, well, to be frank, I might just as well buy a new motherboard and a good graphics card and obviously new processor and new RAM, as opposed to buying a partial upgrade to my graphics card, which is going to cost me an arm and a leg. In some cases, more than some of the top level graphics cards. So if I make a decent step up, then the PC could last me till beyond 2030. So I'm not too worried. It's run for 7 years with what it's got inside, and some of the components are struggling. So yeah, just replacing things, that's fine. That's interesting. That's a big boost in yield around that thing. I don't know if I just happen to be looking at it with that happens to be where there's a good plot of dirt. I think it is. I think that's where the loam is. How's the supply going? We good. This field is looking like a 2-tank field. I'm not sure we're going to get much beyond. So that the truck should be able to carry all of this. Obviously the barley field is going to be a little bit of a challenge because it's huge. So getting an auger cart might be a plan. But yeah, and one of the reasons I've been watching PC builder, PC component videos is I'm definitely settling on, well, some of the things I thought I wanted I really don't want. I don't play first-person shooters, so I don't need something like a Ryzen 780X3D, which is a serious gaming processor, but I don't need to spend the money in that horsepower. I could probably save about $500 and get myself a really decent processor that is... I know the Ryzens are now in the 9000 series. Yeah, I can get a 7000 series for quite a reasonable price, and it is going to be more than adequate for what I want today, next week, next year. So I'm not too worried. I want good. I don't need $8,000 performance PC with all of the bells and whistles. That's just, I'd never use it, so there's no point. So if I come out here with the mulcher and then I'll bring the subsoiler out. We can set that up on workers. I might paint the corners of the field when I do that, so that things are rounder, things are more courseplay friendly. 10:30. Okay. But yeah, I think I might need to consider getting that auger wagon. We're looking at potentially that one. 180 horsepower. That can run behind one of my smaller tractors. That might be a plan. It's big enough to hold what goes in here. What does my harvester hold? My harvester holds 17,000. That holds 27,000. It's not quite double, but it's enough to empty it plus a little bit, plus 60% more. Obviously, the slightly bigger one, that one's 27 as well. That one's 300 horse, too big. Or you can go with one of these, which is 1934. But again, you're up to... oh, those are all actually 300 horsepower. That's 400. So this one works out quite nicely. 180 horsepower. And 27,000 litres. So I can get just under... whoops. Two tanks out of the harvester, and it'll take, I think, 2 of them to fill up the truck. So might be worth thinking about. It's 46,000. It'll take us below 90, but we've already bought the oil mill. We can put the oil in here into production. Oh, that'll be good. Yeah. I will check that out. Oh, look, somebody wants to be bad. Okay. Let me take care of them. You can go bye-bye. Yes, I should check that out, not when I'm streaming. So, anyway. As I said, this isn't the greatest of yields on this field. I'm not sure if that's down to the canola or it's because I didn't plough and mulch and do all the fun things in life. Oh, actually, if I'm going to plant grass in here, I'm probably not going to. I'll just